begin to see the promise of God's justice, and that's what we close with. It's in Psalm 10, verses 16 through 18. There's this wonderful promise at the end of these two Psalms. The Lord is king forever and ever. The nations will perish from his land. Notice that. The Lord is king forever and ever. The nations will perish. Isn't that an interesting little dichotomy there? The Lord is going to live forever and ever. The nations will perish. You hear, O Lord, the desire of the afflicted. You encourage them and you listen to their cry, defending the fatherless and the oppressed, in order that man who is of earth may terrify no more. This is a wonderful promise from God, and it says this: God is king. He's on the throne, and he is there forever and ever and ever. He is on the throne forever, and the conflict will end someday. God says there will be an end to the defeat. The conflict will end. How will God bring this justice to your life? Well, first of all, notice in that passage, he will hear you. He will hear you. When you cry out to him, when you bring that burden, that defeat, that problem in your life to him, he will hear you. Now, you must cry out to him. That's an important part of it. You can't just go around and, okay, well, God, when are you going to do this? No, there has to be this call for help. You have to go to God. You have to seek after him. You must tell him your desires until your desires become his desires. You must tell God your desires until you begin to notice that your desires are actually his desires. Psalm 37:4 says it this way. You've heard me quote this verse over and over again. You delight yourself in the Lord, and he will put his desires in your heart. That's what it says. Delight yourself in the Lord, he will give you the desires of your heart. That is literally what the verse says. And so many people have interpreted it as, he'll give you what I want. No, it says that he will give you the desires of your heart. He will put those desires in your heart. And as you cry out to God in those needs and those burdens and the pain in your life, as you cry out to God for those things, as you tell him your desires, you will soon begin to notice that your desires are God's desires. And then he will begin to encourage you. And as he begins to encourage you, you will begin to have that hope that you need. And as he begins to encourage you, you will find that he is judging in favor of you. When you talk to people who've gone through a court experience, either they were charged with something or they had to sue for something or whatever the case may be, they go through a court system. It's so stressful, so difficult, so painful, so burdensome. And then when it's over with and they win, there is just this sudden release on their life. They just suddenly feel free like they've never felt before in their life. There's a sudden release because the judge ruled in favor of them. That's what this passage says that God's going to do. The judge will judge in favor of you.